May watched, her heart heavy, as the dry fields of her village lay before her. The scorching sun beat down relentlessly, and dust rose with every movement. The crops, which once thrived in vibrant greens and golds, were now mere shadows of what they had once been. The faces of the villagers reflected despair and worry, as if nature had decided to abandon them. The young woman felt an immense weight on her shoulders, an unease that drove her to seek answers. If only the rains would return, murmured a gentle voice beside her. It was her grandmother, a storyteller as wise as she was loving. You've heard of the Dragon King, haven't you, my granddaughter? He is the guardian of waters and storms. If anyone can help us, it's him. The grandmother's nostalgic gaze drifted toward the horizon, where the blue sky met the parched earth. But how can we reach him? May asked, hope beginning to blossom in her heart. The stories speak of a sacred lake in the mountains, where he can hear the pleas of those brave enough to seek him. If I can make it there, perhaps you will hear my call. The grandmother smiled, but a shadow of concern crossed her face. It's a dangerous journey, my dear. You must be prepared for what you may encounter. I will go. I can't stay here watching our village wither away. I have to try. May stood with determination, her mind already filled with plans. The grandmother nodded, though her heart felt heavy. She knew her granddaughter was bold and fearless, but the world beyond their village was fraught with challenges. The next morning, May bid her grandmother farewell, promising to return with the rains. Take care, my granddaughter. Remember the stories and the lessons, her grandmother said, her voice thick with emotion. May waved and set off, her heart racing with the anticipation of the adventure that lay ahead. Upon reaching the sacred lake, the young woman was in awe of its beauty. The waters mirrored the sky, but something troubled her. As she approached the shore, she noticed the water level was much lower than it should be. With a hesitant touch, May dipped her fingers into the surface, and then a vision unfolded before her eyes. For dragon serpents danced in the waters, a sight of power and majesty. They appeared sorrowful, as if they could feel the pain of the drought plaguing her village. Who has disturbed the balance? A deep voice echoed in her mind, causing her to shiver. May looked around, but there was no one in sight. It was as if the water itself was speaking to her. She felt a chill run down her spine, yet at the same time, a growing determination surged within her. She knew she had to uncover the truth behind that vision. However, a shadow began to form before her, obscuring the light of the lake. May's heart raced. What was this presence? What else did fate have in store for her? Taking a deep breath, May sensed the presence of the dark creature. It was a shadow slithering across the water of the lake, taking the shape of a grotesque being, with black scales and eyes glowing red like embers. She hesitated for a moment, but the determination in her heart outweighed her fear. I need to reach the temple, she murmured to herself as the creature advanced, preparing to strike. A wave of panic surged through her as the creature lunged toward her. May quickly turned and, with all her strength, began to run. The waters of the lake splashed around her as adrenaline coursed through her veins. Please help me, she shouted, unsure if anyone would hear her. The sound of the churning water behind her and the creature's growl echoed like thunder. Suddenly, May spotted a clearing ahead, where the vegetation became less dense. She dashed toward it, but when she glanced back, she saw the creature closing in fast. With one final burst of energy, May leaped into the clearing and hid behind a tree. Her heart raced wildly in her chest, and she knew she needed help. It was then that she turned to find Jun, a young warrior known in her village. He had dark hair and a determined look in his eyes. What's going on, May? He asked, noticing the terror on her face. Without wasting a moment, May explained what had happened. Jun, upon hearing about the creature, did not hesitate. We'll face it together, he declared, brandishing his sword. The two made their way toward the shadow that still writhed with rage. Hold on tight, May. We'll use the strength of our unity, Jun shouted as he readied himself for battle. When the creature lunged again, the two attacked simultaneously. Jun's sword cut through the air, while May, with courage, hurled stones and branches, distracting the creature. Their coordinated attack caught the creature by surprise, and with a precise blow from Jun, it was forced to retreat. With the threat averted, Mei breathed a sigh of relief. "You're amazing, Jun." "Thank you," she exclaimed, admiring the young warrior's bravery. "Let's keep going. We need to reach the temple before it's too late." Jun nodded, his eyes shining with determination. "Let's go together, Mei. The fate of the waters depends on us." So, the two set off toward the nearby village, where they hoped to find the wise elder Li, who could help them understand the gravity of the situation. As they walked, Mei felt the energy of the lake pulsing around her, as if the waters were responding to her courage and unity with Jun. "I hope the elder has answers," she said, gazing at the horizon. "The drought is devastating our village, and we need to restore the balance." "We'll uncover the truth together," Jun replied, as the sun began to set, painting the sky a vibrant orange, as if the universe itself were watching their journey. The winds blew fiercely as Mei, Jun, and the wisely navigated a small wooden boat through the choppy sea. The waves, towering like mountains, challenged the vessel, which struggled against the tempest's might. Mei gripped the helm tightly, her eyes resolute, while Jun helped her maintain their course. "Focus, Mei. Feel the waters around you," Jun shouted, trying to encourage the young girl. Mei closed her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. A strange sensation began to flow within her, as if the waters wanted to communicate. She recalled her grandmother's words. "The Dragon King always listens to those who have courage and purity in their hearts." The storm seemed to respond to Mei's call, gradually calming down. I can feel something," she exclaimed, her voice vibrating with the strength of the waves. "It's as if the waters are guiding me." "Hold steady, Mei," Li, the wise elder, cautioned. "But remember, the journey is far from over. We need to find the magical island and the dragoness who can help us." After hours of battling the forces of nature, a silhouette emerged on the horizon. It was an island, shrouded in a soft, mystical light. The boat rocked gently as they approached the shore. Upon disembarking, they were greeted by a dense and lush forest, where the air was infused with a sweet, vibrant fragrance. "Look," Jun pointed to the center of the island, where a majestic creature stood among the trees. A dragoness, with iridescent scales reflecting the sunlight, watched them with wise, deep eyes. "Welcome, Mei, son of Jun and wise Li," said the dragoness, her voice echoing like a siren's song. "I am Lian, guardian of this island and protector of the waters. Come, I have much to reveal. We need your help to free the Dragon King," Mei said, determination in her voice. "His son, Tian Long, has imprisoned him, and now the balance of the waters is in danger." Lian nodded solemnly, her expression serious. "I have felt the disturbance in the aquatic realm. To free the Dragon King, you will need an artifact that possesses the ancestral power of the waters. But to obtain it, you must prove your worth." Mei exchanged glances with Jun and Li, her heart racing. "We are ready for the challenge," Mei affirmed firmly. "We will do whatever it takes." Lian smiled, though there was a mix of concern in her gaze. "Then prepare yourselves. The test will begin now." The dragoness spread her wings, and a pulsating energy filled the air. Mei felt a mixture of fear and excitement, knowing that her fate and that of the Dragon King depended on her actions. The trial was about to begin. The battle intensified on the magical island, with the clashing echoes of steel and the cries of combat resonating among the swaying palms. Jun, agile as a feline, dodged the claws of one of Tianlong's minions, a grotesque creature with black scales that shimmered in the sunlight. He swung his sword with determination, slicing through the air and striking the monster in its flank. "Mei now!" he shouted as the minion staggered dazed. Meanwhile, Li conjured a spell with his hands intertwined in complex gestures, his words and ancestral whispers reverberating in the environment. The power of the dragon is the key. Focus. Mei feel the energy of the artifact. He unleashed a burst of energy that hit another minion, causing it to collapse in a heap of scales. With the artifact in hand, Mei felt the magic pulsing. The object glowed intensely, almost as if it were responding to her determination. I'm trying, but I don't know how to activate it. She looked to the dragoness, who now took on a majestic form, with iridescent scales and eyes shining with the wisdom of millennia. You need to channel your desire to protect May. The artifact will only respond to the purity of your heart. Taking a deep breath, May closed her eyes and concentrated. Images of her village, her grandmother, and her friends filled her mind. I wish to restore the balance, she cried out, and the energy began to flow from the artifact. The dragoness, joining the strength of May, let out a roar that reverberated throughout the island. The magic of the artifact began to manifest, radiating an intense light. But before they could celebrate, a wave of fury erupted from the sky. Tianlong, now enraged, raised his hands, and a storm began to form. "You are fools to think you can defeat me," he shouted, his voice echoing like thunder. With a swift movement, May activated the artifact, and an explosion of energy lit up the sky. The blinding light struck Tianlong, who screamed in pain as he was thrown backward. The island began to tremble beneath their feet. "Quick, we need to get out of here," shouted Jin, pulling May by the hand. As they ran, the ground split open and waves rose up, threatening to swallow the island. "Go! Don't look back!" Li ordered, his voice filled with urgency. They rushed toward the coast, but the energy released by the artifact seemed to have awakened something beyond the island. As they reached the water's edge, they looked back and saw the island sinking, with a storm brewing on the horizon. "The storm, it's heading toward my village," May exclaimed, concern etched on her face. "We need to act fast. If we don't do something, my home and my people will be in danger." The atmosphere in May's village was tense, the sky heavy with dark clouds that seemed to writhe with the fury of a god. Mei Zhen, an elderly, ran through the streets, trying to warn the villagers about the approaching storm. "We need to gather everyone. The storm is not just the wrath of the heavens. It is Tianlong seeking revenge." Mei shouted, her voice cutting through the murmurs of worry that spread throughout the village. "But how can we stop him?" asked a villager, his eyes filled with fear. "He is powerful. The water has already risen before we could even prepare. We need to unite and fight. If each of us uses our strength, we can resist him," Jin said, his tone resolute. "We cannot let Tianlong destroy what we love." Li, with his serene demeanor, raised his hand. "Listen, it is our unity that will give us strength. If we are one, the waters will not be able to defeat us. Call all the villagers. We need everyone here." With renewed determination, the three dispersed, gathering the townsfolk. Soon, a crowd assembled in the central square, where May positioned herself at the front. The wind began to blow fiercely, and the first heavy raindrops fell, as if the sky were about to break. "People, the Dragon King granted us life, and now we must fight for it," May proclaimed, and the crowd murmured in agreement. "If we unite, we will not only face Tianlong, but also restore balance to the waters." Meanwhile, the clouds grew denser, and the distant roar of the waves heralded the storm. Water began to rise, threatening to invade the village. May felt the energy pulsing around her, a deep connection with the Dragon King urging her to act. "I will confront him," declared May, her voice firm. "He needs to know that we are not alone." Jin tried to protest. "May, this is dangerous. I know, but it's the only way. If we don't face Tianlong now, nothing will remain to save." She turned, determined, and set off toward the fury of the storm. Reaching the edge of the raging waters, May raised her arms, calling upon the strength she felt within her. "Tianlong, call me. I know you can hear me," she shouted, her voice echoing amid the thunder. And then, in the midst of the storm, Tianlong appeared, an imposing shadow, his eyes glowing with ancient wrath. "You, a mere mortal, dare to challenge me?" His voice thundered, mingling with the roar of the sea. "I'm not just a mortal. I am the guardian of the waters, and you cannot continue this destruction." May replied, her courage growing in the face of the threat. "Guardian? Ha! You know nothing of power." Tianlong retorted, a cruel smile crossing his face. "The water is mine, and soon your village will be nothing but an echo among the waves." But in that moment of fury, a truth began to emerge between them. "You don't have to be this way, Tianlong. You can choose another path," Mei implored, feeling her connection with the Dragon King pulse more strongly. "Choose? You don't understand. Power is all that matters. And I am a descendant of the Dragon King. The shadow you see is me, and I will not be stopped." Tianlong roared, the storm responding to his despair. The tempest raged with an almost supernatural force, and the ocean waves seemed eager to swallow Mei's village. In the heart of the battle, she raised her arms, feeling the energy surging around her. With a shout that echoed like thunder, Mei invoked the strength of the waters. To her surprise, a majestic figure emerged from the dark depths of the sea, the Dragon King. His radiant body reflected the lightning's glow, and his eyes, like deep lakes, were filled with wisdom. "Mei," his voice resonated like an ancestral echo. "I have always been with you, watching your bravery and determination. You have never been alone." Mei's heart filled with hope. "Dragon King, we need your help. Tianlong is determined to destroy everything we love." With an elegant motion, the Dragon King turned to Tianlong, who was surrounded by an aura of rage and ambition. "Tianlong, your quest for power has corrupted you. You have forgotten the true essence of our legacy." Tianlong laughed, a chilling sound that sliced through the air. "You speak of essence, father, but it is strength that prevails in this world. I am the future, and no one will stop me." The Dragon King, with a firm gaze, replied, "True strength comes from harmony, not oppression." And with a powerful gesture, he conjured an eternal storm that trapped Tianlong in its grasp, sealing away his ambition and corruption in the depths of the sea. As the storm calmed, the sunlight began to break through the dark clouds, bringing a golden glow to the village. The villagers, astonished, watched as the Dragon King approached Mei, who was breathless yet radiant. "You are the new guardian of the waters, Mei," said the Dragon King, his voice now soft and encouraging. "With you, harmony will be restored." With her eyes shining with emotion, Mei looked around. The village was rejuvenating, flowers blooming, and fields returning to green. But a shadow of sadness lingered in the air. Beside her, the dragoness, who had fought bravely, revealed a heartbreaking secret. "I am Tianlong's mother. His ambition is a wound that I helped create. I seek redemption. I promise to help heal the rifts between humans and dragons," Mei replied, her heart pounding with compassion. "From now on, we will work together to restore balance and ensure that this never happens again." And so, beneath a blue and serene sky, the story of Mei, the Dragon King, and the Dragoness would become a legend, a symbol of hope and renewal, where the connection between humans and dragons would flourish like never before.